Welcome to the World Forge. Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, we doing. How's you doing, my friend? %? Eric, 1 second. Apparently we can't hear you. I don't think that's what that is. Let me fix things here. Know what, Eric? You know who broke it? You broke it.
It showed up without my mic on.
No, because you changed the Discord. You changed the Discord thing.
What?
So yeah. So when I logged in and I was setting up, making sure everything was going, there we go. Now we're working. Thank you, Chaos and Threads. We love you. So you changed your Discord stuff around, like you renamed some things. So OBS didn't recognize it as the same file. So it didn't register it.
Interesting. I had to change.
Oh,
I renamed the whole Discord. Yeah, that's right.
So it threw
the
off,
whole Discord name changed.
Threw off all of OBS. So I actually had to change our video stream as well, because when I first popped on, we had no video. I'm like, what's going on here? Change some things around. But for the first time in a long time, everything's going great, and we're gonna have a great show tonight.
Yep. So the reason I changed the Discord, let me talk about that for just a second.
Give her.
Is that so we are using the Hebridean Tales Discord, and Hebridean Tales is evolving.
Yes.
We're going from a little baby rookie show to a not baby, still mostly rookie show. But we have our first casting call out, and we are turning into somebody's heroes.
Ooh, we're gonna have to change your hashtag name.
Maybe. We might. I don't know if I'm changing my handle across social media, because it might just be too hard for people to recognize the change as the same person.
That's fair.
I might not, but if I do, we're gonna change it here too.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be until near the end of the year anyway.
So we got lots of time.
Oh yeah,
plenty
of time. But yes, and
welcome to the World Forge, everybody.
So there is a casting call out on all of my socials for Heb Tales, and if you're interested in playing in my world using this new cosmology, which I have not spoiled for anybody yet, you are welcome to do that. And the link I will put in chat here for those interested. Just a Google Doc form here. Give me just a second. Boop. There's the casting call sheet. If you want to do it, go for it. If you don't, that's great too.
But you should. You should definitely do it. You should definitely join the casting call, become part of the Hebridean Tales, and maybe even become a guest on the World Forge itself.
Yes, because there is a slot on there. So if you're interested in becoming a guest for the World Forge, you are welcome to just fill it out and go. And then at the end, say you just want to be a guest on the World Forge. I think we have pretty much anyone who's applied has said, I'll come on the World Forge. Fuck it. I don't care.
We'd love to have you. Bring it on. Come on.
Correct. So we've got a good number of responses in already, and we're still looking for more. We got a lot coming, and we'd love to talk to you and see if you'd be a good fit.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's go to hell, baby.
Well, before we go to hell,
Ah, shit. What are we hashtag not sponsored by? I forgot that segment.
Unfortunately, we're not hashtag not sponsored by All or Nothing tonight. I didn't have a chance to make it down to the brewery before I got home from work. It was a very, very long work day. But we are hashtag not sponsored by one of my other favorite beers. Just your typical Bud. Everybody loves a good Budweiser.
We're also hashtag not sponsored by Mountain Dew once again. Hey!
You're nothing but consistent, my friend.
Hey, you know what? I don't drink alcohol. I do once in a blue moon, but it's like a cider.
I probably drink too much for my own good.
Probably. Let's ask your wife. She's in the stream.
Don't do that. Don't do that. She'll rat me out.
We're not gonna at you, right? We're not gonna out you right now.
Please don't. We don't need that. We don't need that here.
Negativity.
That's not negativity. We just don't need to have that conversation. So, let's go to hell.
Fuck yes.
And it's not very many times that you get to look at somebody and be like, go to hell, and actually mean it.
I mean, that's entirely true. However, we do mean it.
We do mean it. We mean it
Let's go
wholeheartedly.
to hell. And Chris, you first. You go to hell first, I'll follow.
All right. Well, I love the abyss and I love the hells. So I would personally like to either start with the hells or the abyss, but at the same time, I kind of want to start. So for the hells, do we want to do it in a tier setting? Or do we want to do it in a cross-plane kind of setup, the way that we've done with the other planes, and then depending on that scape, have it in a tier system? Because on the last stream that we did, we had the conversations where we talked about the river that flowed from the very top of, what was it that it came from? Was it a?
It came from
was it
nature.
Tolium?
No, not. It came from Atolium.
Yeah, it started.
No, it came from Terralia.
It started in Terralia and trickled its way down into Atolium, and then from Atolium it went down to Cherubim.
Sideways. It went sideways from Terralia to Cherubim.
Okay, that's right.
Because they had to create a canal. It does not naturally cosmologically flow that way.
Yeah.
Someone had to forge the canal.
It was Johnny.
No, Johnny didn't forge that canal.
Johnny brought that one to the Grey Waste.
He took the Grey Waste Canal and brought it to the material plane to create the Fountain of Youth.
That's right. That's what I was missing. Okay. God, that was a good little lore build that we had there with that one.
That was great. I love Johnny. Johnny Walker is one of my favorite.
Steve. Did we give Steve a name?
It was Johnny and Steve.
And they're both walkers.
And they're brothers, so they may be walkers. Steve may not be a walker. It could be half brothers, or could be adopted, or who knows how they're brothered. But
I mean, it goes whichever way you really want it to. But yeah, so Johnny brought this river, which we did name. We did name it.
Yes, it has two names.
It does. Where did we write that one down?
Ialuum.
Ialuum, yeah.
Malua.
Yes. There it is.
Depending on which of the celestial tiers you are in. If you are in heaven, it is
Ialuum.
Ialuum. And if you are in the hells, it is Malua.
Yes. So I would like to start in whichever hell Mealua starts.
Just follow the river?
I want to follow the river. Yeah, like that's a great path to follow. Just follow the river.
It is. So let's figure out this river's flow then.
Apparently Chaos and Thread says that we don't tattle on each other mostly. And she's not wrong. We are a very tight-knitted family most days.
Well, I mean, there's three of you. It's easy.
Yeah, well, my little one will tattle on me religiously.
I mean, that's their job in life.
They are so pure. They will just be like, "Oh yeah, Daddy definitely ate my chocolate." I'm like, "You shush your little face. I did not."
I mean, Mommy already knows I ate my chocolate. Mommy already knows I ate your chocolate. She told me to do it.
She's the one that told me to do it, so you don't.
Uh-huh. That's
Okay.
exactly how that happens. Anyway,
It
to
really
hell
is.
with us.
To hell with that, and to hell with us.
So the river.
Now,
I do know it's going to go through the hells because
it's gonna
becomes
go
the
through all
river
the hells.
Styx.
Exactly. And the river Styx itself, I believe, is in one of the 9 hells. It's not in the Abyss, and it's not going to be in Valhalla War. It would be in, I believe, if my memory precedes me, in the 7th layer of hell?
So the river Styx, in some mythologies, it flows through all the layers and just empties out into a nothingness out through at the end of the 9th. But let me check here because in Norse mythology, the river Styx feeds Yggdrasil.
Yeah, and in Greek mythology, it's the river that crosses into Hades.
Yes, which is the 9 hells.
Yeah.
So let me see. The river Styx.
In Dante's Inferno, Pledulus ferries Virgil and Dante across the foul waters of the river Styx, which is portrayed as a marshy compromise in Hell's 5th circle.
Okay, and in D&D, typical traditional D&D lore, it flows through the 1st layer.
Okay.
And in the Abyss, it winds around the plane of infinite portals, which is the 1st layer there as well.
Okay, so we'll merge all of that together, and we will go with the idea that it is the consistent flowing river through all of it. I like that idea that it travels through all of it, because then you can use it as a traveling port of sorts to get from different layers of the hells and abyss.
Let's do a Venn diagram.
A Venn diagram.
It's a 3-way Venn diagram.
You could certainly do it that way.
The first layer of each of these, no matter how we layer them, the first layer is Venn diagrammed.
Yeah, they're all going to be linking in some way.
They all link, and wherever 2 or more of these planes link is a bay of the river of Styx.
Yeah.
And there is no real river down here. It's a lake.
Oh, so it just pools in one location.
Just
so
pools.
The lake would be the center of the diagram, and then everything else just kind of interlocks into
is bays and stuff like that. Yeah,
okay.
To separate the 3 planes.
That's going to be a fun map to make.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys over in chat think?
Well, I believe Chaos and Thread is the current one in chat. We don't have many others there.
For whatever reason, I'm not seeing video in our Twitch. Give me a second. Maybe I need to refresh.
It's on mine. I have it.
There we go. I had to refresh.
Gosh.
I know, right? So, yeah, what does Chaos and Threads think? Because they're the only ones in chat right now, aside from ourselves.
I think it might be just ourselves.
It may.
I think it is. Which is
she
okay.
Probably left after she refused to tattle on you.
She refuses to tattle on me. She's just like, okay, my job is done. I shall carry on.
Right. She said, I fixed your audio issues. Now, eat shit.
Which I'm so grateful she did. That would have been 3 times in a row.
There is someone in chat who just jumped in. I don't know who it is, but welcome. If you're lurking, we appreciate you. But your opinions do count.
Well, according to Chaos and Threads, she does not care, but there has to be a puppy guarding something. So Cerberus has to be somewhere in there.
Oh.
What do you got?
I don't. A worse thing than Cerberus. It's based off of Cerberus, but it's a worse thing than Cerberus.
Okay, let's hear it. Don't leave me hanging. Come on.
I have to think of how to word it.
My blood's pumping. My blood's pumping. So what is it?
the lake is essentially the lake and the bays therein are essentially their own like little demi-plane as far as ownership goes. So they're partitioned, they're part of each of the planes. So whoever's in charge of whatever is in charge of this is supremely powerful because it's got a little abyss, a little bit of hell, a little bit of Valhalla.
So this
You
would
tracking so far?
This would essentially be the over-god of the hellscapes.
He would be the major hell god. Yes.
Okay. So
He's the god of he's the god of the underworld. So this would be essentially Hades in Greek mythos.
Hades or Lucifer.
Hades, Lucifer, whatever religion you want to attach to him.
Whatever your head devil
character.
is. Well, not head devil, because devils would be of the hells. Okay.
Your head honcho. Your head hell honcho, your Triple H.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my wrestling brain just kicked
I
in.
mean, no, that popped in my head too. Nope. I'm from the 90s. Triple H is a thing in my head too.
Yeah.
But we make his pets, his experiments,
His toys.
be protecting this lake. And the only way across is through their boats. Is through the boats.
Okay, so I have one. I have one for you. So we have 3 hellscapes. We have one center island within this diagram. Within the main lake, there would be a center something, a plot of land, a lava, a magma mountain, something of evil nature, which is where the head lives. Then he has his three beasties, whether they're actual beasties or people or like some form of entity, whatever. Like one of them could be a ferryman that actually does run the river Styx that goes through the hells, and he's the gatekeeper. And then on another one, you could possibly have something like Cerberus, which is guarding, say, the abyss. And then for the ward Valhalla, you would have some form of archaic warrior that he's pulled in and is his protector of that realm. So he's pulled something from each area and went, you don't work for them. You work for me, and you protect people from coming to me.
Or leaving if they get here.
Or leaving, yeah. Like any of his, like, you know, slaves that he's brought in, it's just like, no, you bitches are mine. They stop them from getting away.
And nope, the Sphinxes cannot send anyone here.
No, because it's out of their power.
It is in the middle of essentially a Triskalia. It's where all 3 planes meet. It is that junction point, and they cannot see it.
Yeah, it doesn't exist to them. They just don't. They don't. It's the same way as like Time and Fate. The Sphinxes can't send people to Time and Fate. This would
Partly
be
because that's not a celestial ending point.
Correct.
Okay, it's not an
yes.
afterlife point.
But on the same token, neither is his area. So his this Dante's Inferno. Let's call it that for just humor's sake for now, or just call it Greg's Inferno.
Our god is not Greg.
No, you know what it'd be, Greg.
Greg is the only mortal not the only mortal. He's the only soul on this who lives here, though. He's the only soul who lives here.
Oh, he's the only living soul that lives here?
He's the only soul that lives here. The only soul who's ever made it to here.
He's the groundskeeper.
Greg is the groundskeeper. He trims the trees.
He goes around and
trims the dead trees.
He trims the dead trees, and he goes to Cerberus and makes sure that he gets fed, and he goes to the warrior, make sure he has his mead, and he goes to the ferry keeper to make sure he has coins.
Yep.
Okay, so
For
let's
change? He collects the coins from the ferryman.
Collects the coins and brings it to whoever the head honcho is.
I'm like, wait, when did the ferryman start giving out change?
Well, no, not that the ferryman gives out change, but like Okay, I get what you mean. Leave me alone.
You had said that bring the ferryman coins, and I'm like, when's the ferryman give out change? I have never heard a mythos where the ferryman gives you change, bro. You got change for 20.
It's a whole new world, okay? Maybe somebody shows up with like a coin and a half, and the half of it got split. He's just like, I want to go double the distance, but I only got this much coin, so can you do me a bit of a tradesies? No. But stepping aside from Greg, we'll work on Greg. We're gonna work on Greg. I like him. He's gonna be part of the mythos.
He's the third Walker brother.
Can he be? There's oh my god, we're making the Pokemon Jennies. Exactly. And they all have to look the same. They all got to look the same. So they're all going to be the similar, same build and all that kind of stuff. Same faces, just different like hair and clothes and stuff like that. So we got Johnny, Steve, and Greg. And that's why Johnny's on the run. Because maybe Johnny's on the run because he made a deal that he's supposed to be down there with Greg. And he's trying to get the fuck away.
I don't know. We'll figure that part out, man. But
back into that
house. We're getting a long story. I want to meet Johnny, Greg, and Steve's mama now.
Ooh, yeah.
She's a fierce bitch.
You know what? For that one, we're bringing in a guest.
We're bringing in a guest to build Mama Walker.
Mama Walker, yeah.
Yeah. We'll bring in two guests, one to help build Mama, one to build Daddy, and we'll bring them on the same time. That'll be a fun episode.
That would be an
Mommy and Daddy Walker.
Mommy and Daddy Walker. Okay, so let's go back to our. We get so sidetracked. So let's go back.
God,
to our Venn diagram of our hells, because I really like this idea. I like the idea of all the hells being semi-linked together on a singular flat.
Well, and when you think about it, when a river empties out, it empties out into a ocean,
into a body,
into some kind of large, humongous body of water. So spilling out into the hellish ocean
makes sense.
Or the corrupted ocean, or whatever we end up calling it. It'll be like give like 6 names based on who's there, on the society you're from.
Yeah, the society you're from, or even what pocket of the hellscapes you're from. Because like if you're from the abyss, you're gonna have one name for your section. Yeah, but the main head of whatever this main head entity calls it, that will be its origin name. Its
proper name.
Yes, it's
DC 30 history. His DC 30 Arcana and history checks.
And you got to get 30 on both.
Yeah, you got to be a wizard of 20th level and be something else with like a 25 or 26 fucking intelligence to get this shit.
Right.
Like dragons would.
So chaos.
Yes, Jerry Springer episode.
Jerry Springer episode.
Yes. Absolutely a Jerry Springer episode.
So Eric and I will be a co-hosted Jerry Springer, and we're gonna bring in Mama Walker, Dada Walker, and they're gonna talk about the lineage of their boys and how fucked up they are.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be way too much fun to actually happen.
It has to happen. It has to.
Geez.
All right, so let's go back into our hellscapes. Let's write some of this down before we get too far out of it.
Before we fucking forget, yes.
Before we get too far out of it. So
all right, let me go ahead and switch over to. I'm logged into the wrong Google account.
Gosh darn it.
Well, okay. No, I can still see the notes. I just couldn't type them.
Oh.
So I will type about the river. You type about the head. In the hellscapes having the way it's shaped.
Yeah, so the Venn diagram essentially of it.
Yes, you talk about the Venn diagram. I will talk about the river.
Okay, so we're gonna go. So that'll be. We're gonna put that at the top. We're gonna bypass hellscapes. Drop down. No?
into a
Fine.
giant...
Fight me. You can fix this later because it's not working for me because technology hates me, as we already know so much about. All right, so with our hellscapes, we have a Venn diagram.
VENN. Yes.
VENN. Diagram of a lake at the center that is fed from, come on, Chris, type, from the river. So that would be fed not from the river Allium, but from Muloa? What do we call that?
Yeah.
Malua.
Molua would be, actually, that would be the name of the ocean.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Because there is no river.
Yeah, there is no river.
We're replacing the river
It just feeds
Styx.
in. Yeah. Okay. So let's space you out here so I have more space to typey. Come here, you. Be nice to me. Okay, so Venn diagram of a lake at the center that is fed from the Allium. I'm spelling this wrong, but we'll fix it later. No, we'll fix it now. How did we spell that? There we go. Copy paste.
AYU. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll just copy paste it. That makes my life easier. Back up to the top here to our scapes. And that's fed from the Allium River. From the Heavenscapes. Center of this lake resides the head of the Hellscapes. To be named.
Eventually.
Yeah, I just put it in quotations, to be named.
Mm-hmm. And down under where we have the crystalline waters section, I put empties into a giant. I duplicated that node a little bit, but it's also that this ocean, sea, lake, whatever people call it, it's inhabited by creations made by this chief undergod or banished god, something like Lucifer or Hades.
Perfect.
Just nice, short, sweet, to the point.
That's everything that we need. Back up to our hells. So I'm going to rename. So I have a Venn diagram of a lake, but we're calling it an ocean. So ocean is a better terminology for that because it would be a massive, massive body of water. Venn diagram of an ocean at the center that is fed from a Allium river from the Hellscapes. The center of this lake resides the head of the Hellscapes to be named. Am I missing anything?
Nope.
Okay, cool beans. Cool beans. I like it.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, fix everything that I messed up.
War/Valhalla would be on the north side, I think.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
North, righteousness, truth. It'd be on the more lawful end of the spectrum.
Yeah. So it'd be closer to the top of the.
When you've got three Venn diagrams, you've got the one, then you've got two.
Two at the bottom.
It would be the one up on top.
And the hells and the abyss would be almost equal with each other on their level of corruption.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Because War Valhalla is only sent here because apparently these gods believe in the rule of three.
Okay, so they're like the monkey gods.
There are like a lot of gods.
There are a lot of religious beliefs that are definitely surrounding
triumvirates.
Yeah, the idea of three. Like even if you go into the Legend of Zelda, the whole concept of the Triforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very typical used method of creating a deity system.
Yep. Well, I mean, even going back to the Greek, there were three brothers.
Yeah.
And it was a little misogynistic of them, yeah, because they had other siblings.
But they were the ones that mattered.
Because they were a misogynistic society. No dick, no power. No power, no dick.
I mean, that's kind of stayed true through our terminology of the world as well. Like, look at the politicians right now.
I would like to think societally we're more involved.
We're getting
not
better.
Governmentally. Societally, I feel like we're getting better.
We shouldn't touch that. We shouldn't touch that with the 10-foot pole.
No, that's another show.
That's not our show. That's somebody else. Show. I'd rather have Jerry Springer.
I'll talk about history. They were definitely misogynistic little pricks.
Yes.
But Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades were the three
overarching
overall brothers, and that's why Zeus got the land, Poseidon got the water, and Hades got the souls of everything living and dead.
Yep.
He was a devil. Like, to be honest,
he was.
Hades was a devil, and he had everybody's soul on contract.
Which means he's probably more powerful than Lucifer.
He made a deal with the other gods to get every living mortal's soul.
That's pretty evil. I like it.
I like how he didn't even have to how the humans and the mortals didn't even have to agree to it.
They didn't even have a say. Not even a say. It's just like, oh, we don't get to. Oh, okay. We'll just go fuck ourselves over here.
But that's why Zeus. I just realized why Zeus and Poseidon went and fucked everything now. They had to have souls for their own power, so they created fauns and dryads and naiads and all the other mythological creatures
things that weren't human.
Were not humans, because it was the human mortal souls that Hades made the deal for.
So if they made the inhuman ones. If they make things that aren't humans, they can claim their souls. That's actually very smart.
And I just figured it out by this rambling right this fucking second.
Never would have put that two and two together there. No. So we have our Venn diagram. We have our creation process, which is beautiful. So now that we know who runs the hellscapes, let's see who he runs.
Oh, who's
running Valhalla? Who's running the Nine Hells? Who's running the Abyss?
I kind of just want to yank Odin.
You just want to yank Odin and kind of reblend them?
Just yank Odin, and because we can steal mythological names and shit. Like, those are not copywritten by any means. I kind of just want to yank the concept of Odin and the Norse pantheon in general. Not all of them, but like
a chunk of them.
Like,
okay. I'm not against that. I mean, it makes it a little bit easier on us.
But Odin would be one of the gods. Would be one of the gods of many names, right? He would be Odin. He'd be Ares. He would be all of those kind of war gods,
all in one,
all as one entity. Which, in reality, who's to say that they weren't? That he wasn't?
Very well could be.
I'm not dead. I can't tell you. If I die, I'll let you know, bro.
All right, we'll make sure we keep a message open.
Well, no, now I have an unfinished entity, and now I have unfinished business, so I would never actually make it there, so it's fine. I would come back as a ghost and just haunt your ass, because that's what I said I would do. I didn't have the information, so I can't conclude it. I would just haunt your ass forever.
Great. So now you're just going to permanently haunt me because you decided that you wanted to have unfinished that is a vicious, brutal cycle. Like,
I'll find out what's in heaven. I'll let you know.
Never make it there. Never make it there.
But you don't know that that's the case, right? Like,
I'll know. I'll know because your ass is beside me going, I'm like, fuck, you didn't make it.
Fuck, there really are sphinxes that can read your soul. God damn it, we were right the whole time.
Right.
Fucking A.
Okay, so I guess with that notion in mind, we're gonna go into Valhalla first.
May as well.
May as well.
We've already started talking about it and trying to figure out what it is.
So I like the idea of in Valhalla war that there's essentially a ever-raging war within this scape itself. You're being sent there because you like fighting. You are a fighter. That's your crime against your soul. Therefore, there would be an ever-raging war, and I don't think it would have any structure to it. Like there wouldn't be like one side and another side. I feel like it would literally just be a full-out skirmish at all times.
So there would be sides.
Would there?
I
be
would
sides?
argue that there would be. Yes.
Of what?
So let's break this down for a second. All right. So in
Deep dive.
in a lot of mythologies, demons and devils hate each other.
Correct.
Yes, they hate angels too, but they hate each other as well.
Yeah,
they have the blood
that's
war.
the abyss and the hells.
Yes. The blood war is between devils and demons.
Correct. Valhalla wouldn't be devils and demons. This Valhalla
No.
would be your human souls.
Yes, but the devils and demons own the other two planes completely.
Hello,
And
Red
any
Samurai.
souls that go there, we haven't got there yet, but they would own those completely and just absorb whatever souls and corrupt them, ultimately corrupt them. This is a plane of almost good. This would be like lawful neutral. But on the negative side, it's the neutrality is the war is the issues. Hey, Reds.
We are fantastic. Our audio's working. Everything is fantastic. For once.
Finally. But now this is just my first idea, but this would be where the blood war would happen. The devils and demons would get so many souls from the sphinxes, but they want to control more. They want more power.
So do you think that they would be going to Valhalla to try and pull
It would
souls?
be going to Valhalla to mine souls there, but these souls are fighting amongst them. It's total chaos over here too, because they are in that everlasting skirmish you were talking about, where they're just fighting amongst each other and resurrecting the next morning, just like Valhalla typically is.
Yeah, that would be about right.
So any soul that's assigned to Valhalla would resurrect as long as they died in Valhalla.
Okay, but so how would the demons collect them? Like, how would demons and devils take souls from Valhalla and pull them back into their scape to make more demons and devils? Because that would be the idea of why the devils and demons would be going there. They would be going to Valhalla to corrupt a human warrior soul to remove it and extract it and turn it into their entities.
That's where we can get into that when we discuss the Abyss and the Nine Hells.
Okay.
As to how their power
functions.
Dichotomies work.
Okay.
Because that's going to be the why they go there.
Yeah.
Now I could also see them having great sea battles too in the middle of this ocean.
Oh, there would definitely be like super sea battles, like.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god!
And aerial battles over this ocean.
Oh yeah.
So I can already see it being this. The whole trifecta is just in chaos and in war and conflict, except within its own plane. Except for maybe like power struggles within the upper demons.
Yeah, you would definitely have power struggles within each scape themselves, like trying to pull power on top of each other to claim territory or claim demon souls within or fiend souls within. And same goes with Valhalla. I do agree with you, like backtracking on my initial idea of there just being an all-out skirmish of chaos. You are right, there would be some level of order within Valhalla with the skirmishing, in the sense that the fighting would be if you kill a soul, that soul now comes to your side the next morning to aid in your campaign against the other factions.
That's how it happens. That's how it's collected. Yes.
Yeah. I
Souls resurrect in the camp of their killer.
Yeah.
That being, if breaking it down even within the Valhalla sector. Let's say you've got Thor, Odin, and Loki.
Okay.
They each have a camp.
If
Loki kills a Thor person, if a Loki dude kills a Thor dude, that Thor dude resurrects in Loki's camp.
Yeah.
If a demon comes in and kills a Loki dude, it resurrects in the demon camp.
I'm getting such ESO vibes right now.
What do you think over there, chat? We've got a couple people in chat right now. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this process, about the way the Blood Wars and why the Blood Wars, and how Valhalla plays a pivotal role in the Blood War?
In the creations of demons and fiends.
Yeah.
Because that's
well, the expansion.
The growth.
The expansion of them.
The growth of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's essentially what we're discussing, is how each side grows in ranks. Now, mind you, you would still have growth from demons and fiends and devils going to the unity plane, the material plane, and
pre-bargaining.
And pre-bargaining and making deals and like pulling souls that way, because that would happen as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the idea that the
Sphinxes would send people.
I think this. Well, yeah, I guess they would.
They would, but they don't. Most people don't want to go to the hells or the abyss.
Well, no,
so they would
forced.
not. They would not have. They wouldn't live super terrible lives if they didn't want their soul to go there.
Well, even the ones who do live terrible lives. So let's backtrack it to the Grey Wastes for a minute.
Okay, let's back up to them.
So let's say you do have an entity who lives a very bad life. So you have a thief, just a run-of-the-mill thief. Like, he's just a shitty person. He steals things. He's a cutthroat. And he dies. He goes to the Grey Waste. He knows he lived a bad life.
He knows he's going to a hell.
He's going to a hell. He might choose to not even go to the Sphinxes and live the remainder of his life at the Grey Waste.
He might.
The demons and devils still go to the Grey Waste to collect souls.
They do. That's why they're invading, and that's why Heaven's armies are trying to attack. That's the heaven and hell.
That's a whole nother war that's happening on the other side of the plains,
which we've already
discussed. So that would explain why the Grey Wastes would expand and swell with souls. It's people who know that if they go to the Sphinx, they're going to a hell.
Yep.
So that's why the devils know, you know what, maybe we don't even have
These
to
are our souls anyway.
Maybe we don't have to go to the Unity plane. We can just go to the Wastes and collect there, which is one of the big reasons why you have this war against the celestial beings, is to go and collect those semi-corrupt souls. Like, you have the souls that immediately appear on the Grey Waste, and the Sphinxes sense them and go, yeah, no, you're done, you're gone. Like, immediate, this is where you're going. And you don't even get to go in line.
Now, if you sign a contract,
you're done.
If you sign a contract with the devil, you don't even go to the Grey Wastes. You don't wait in line. You get the fucking express lane double plane shift ticket straight to fucking hell. You are VIP'd straight to the hell.
And off you go, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense to me. That gives a good balance to how souls would transfer between the hellscapes and the heavenscapes. So
yes.
And why the Grey Waste would have such an abundance of souls on it. Because most people, you get to the Grey Waste, you're like, oh, okay, I want to go carry on to my next place. You're going to have so many that are just like, no. I don't.
I know I'm going to hell.
I don't want
I'm
to
not
go
there
talk
yet.
to them.
I'm not there yet. Thank Jesus. Thank
This-
the gods I'm not in hell yet when I die.
You know what? This Great Waste, it ain't so bad.
That's so bad.
Let's go set up shop somewhere.
Let me just move to this small little podunk town I see in the distance.
Yep. So I do like that concept, and the concept as well of the Valhalla being where your bloodlust souls would go. Like the souls that are literally living for fighting, which according to any other deity is not okay.
Nope.
So you would go to Valhalla. So those would be the souls who they fought their entire lives. They killed, they murdered, they did whatever, and they're okay with it. They think
they're at peace with it in their heart.
They think they did good. So they go
their
to the
God's doctrine said it was okay, which is why that's why I said this is as lawful as a hell gets.
Yeah, it would be.
But it's in the neutral territory.
Yes. Because it's still there's still a structure to the way that they fight.
Yes. They don't fight for no reason. They fight because they woke up. That's the difference.
I woke up and I decided violence.
I woke up and I chose violence this morning. Exactly. It's that little meme with the Kirby outside the patio window with the dagger just that. Resurrecting the camp of their killer.
Yeah, I guess we should write this down.
If killed by devil or demon.
And hello to everybody that is in our chats. Thank you for coming. We love you. We're so happy you're here. If you have any input, feel free to shout it out. Let us know. We will discuss whatever you guys are thinking, and maybe we'll throw it into the forge. If killed by a devil or demon, they go to their beach camp?
Their beachhead camp.
Yeah.
Because when you invade a territory, the first thing you do is you set up a beachhead.
Okay.
And then you branch from there. So it's that camp. So they're still technically in Valhalla. They're just a demon in Valhalla, and then they just get moved back.
I would say that as soon as they die, that soul goes back.
That's why it go to their respective.
It immediately go back to the respective, the same way that the elemental planes and their magic when they go to the plane of time and fate.
Okay.
Like they're right.
Go to their new
that makes dying that much more worth it.
Yeah.
And
because otherwise, then a Loki would just have to kill you, and you're back as being a free soul.
But on the same side of the spectrum, if a Valhallian kills a demon or fiend, their soul gets turned into a Valhallian. Because it would have to work two ways. It would have to work both ways. Unless if a demon or devil dies from a Valhallian, they're just gone. They're done. Like the soul is removed.
Permadeath.
Like permadeath. Like because you're gonna have an abundance of demons and fiends.
Yeah. But these guys are not. You're not going to send your weakest anymore.
No.
This would be you would send like your Meriliths. You're like CR 12s or 13s because you know they're in combat. These guys are trained in combat that you're going to recruit.
Now here's a question for you.
You wouldn't send your little your Vrock demon.
You might send them as fodder.
You might, but you would only do that if you knew you had a supreme abundance.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. Mm-hmm. We have the Celestials making Celestials.
Yes.
In the same spect, would we not have fiends and demons making their own?
So what it would be twisting the new souls into. They have to have new souls.
Yeah, they would have to have souls
and corrupt into those new demons.
And they would probably use the Maluum to do it.
Yeah, they would use some kind of I'm imagining this being like a sludge river, not a river, a sludge lake,
Ocean.
a sludge ocean, where it's super dense, super full of pollutants, super corrupt, but it's one you could almost like set on fucking fire. It's almost oil.
I imagine that it would just be on fire.
Once it got set on fire once, yeah, probably.
Like, I think in the very, very start of it, it wasn't. Like, it was just like the sludgy lake. And at some point in time, somebody in one
Through a
of the
fireball
escapes... Steve came through. No, Greg fucked it all up.
It was Greg.
That's why
Johnny.
You think Johnny came down to the hills?
I mean, he had to know where the river went. He might have been following the river. He is a pro on that celestial river.
He is a celestial river surfer.
So I think he would know where it ended. If you need any information about the celestial river, this crystalline waters,
the Walker family knows.
The Walker family knows how to do it, and it's probably Johnny. Johnny Walker.
I'm really starting to get the feeling that the Walker family is the first humanoid family of this world.
They're Adam and Eve.
Maybe the parents are.
The parents are Adam and Eve type shit, right? Like, the parents are Adam and Eve. Jesus Christ.
I knew.
Do not let Johnny have a baby, guys. We will have Jesus in a heartbeat.
Oh, no. Oh, sweet baby Walker babies.
Baby Walker, Jesus.
No, just baby Walker. It's just baby Walker. Oh, shit. Okay,
just
so
don't make him a Texas Ranger and we're good.
I love John. So the Scotch Johnny Walker is my all-time favorite Scotches on the planet, hands down.
Okay.
You can't convince me otherwise. I don't care.
You're fair.
There are so many different colors and flavors of Johnny Walker.
Mm-hmm.
You have Johnny Walker Blue, Johnny Walker Red, Black.
2015, 62 Johnny.
Mm-hmm. So the family can just be all the different shades of the Walkers. And the higher, like the more prime the color is typically the better tasting of it. So Johnny Blue is one of the top tiers because it's more of a prime color. You could do that with the family and just have like their middle names like Johnny Blue Walker, Steve Gray Walker, just in some form of weird-esque-ness. But that's just a rant for me, so we shall carry on and move on out of the Walker family.
Are we sure? I think we'll come back to the Walker. No, we're never going to move on from the Walker family. They are borderline celestial fucking beings, bro.
I just meant right now, for this moment in time, we're going to step away from the Walker family.
I'm half surprised we didn't put a fucking undead Johnny Walker over in the fucking Johnny Walker Black over in the fucking plane of fucking shadow shit.
We haven't been there yet.
We have, though. We discussed it, but we did not talk about its denizens.
We discussed it a little bit.
I know.
We didn't do a full breakdown yet.
No.
But we'll get there, and I'm sure there's some form of Walker that lives there too.
Johnny Black. It's Johnny it's Johnny Walker Black label.
It's Johnny
the undead one.
It's B Walker.
Bubba
Walker.
Bubba Walker.
As long as we don't have a Skywalker.
Ay.
He lives on the air.
I mean, honestly, they're celestials at this point. Like, let's just be honest.
They have to be. They have to be. They've lived too long.
They have to be at least an Aasimar. They're all fucking Aasimar.
I mean, it only makes sense. Okay, so
anyway, if a fiend gets killed by a Valhallian, they permanently die. Done.
Yes, and same with the devils.
But I said fiend.
Okay.
Devils, demons, same category, both fiend if you check the monster manual.
Wait, DMs are supposed to read manuals? They're more like guidelines anyways.
They are, but at least you know what they are. Like, for paladins.
Well, I know they exist. I mean, the manuals. That's what
you have to deal with the paladins, and they can do things against
I have
fiends
lucked out so far. Haven't had a single paladin in any of my games.
What the fuck?
Yep.
That's what Steve is. I swear to God right now, Steve is a goddamn fucking paladin.
I mean, it makes sense. We got Steve the paladin. We got Johnny the wizard.
Who probably died with at least one thing of one point of lay on hands left. He just couldn't use it.
He just couldn't do it to himself.
And no one can just touch him with his own hand and use it, because that's how that works.
That would be funny though, if you die and then someone's just like, wait, and take his hand, just shit, didn't work.
Or he was the healer. That's why they couldn't resurrect him. He was the healer.
They had nobody else to
resurrection.
Okay, so back to our Valhalla, the warplane.
Okay, let's do this.
We get sidetracked. It's so bad, but it's so good.
I hope you're enjoying this. For those of you listening, if you are, please just give us a thumbs up or something in chat and let us know.
Let us know you're having fun with us. We're having fun.
Let's at least let us know that we're being entertaining. Like, at least that.
That's all we ask for
the moment. Before we dig back in and do a whole lot of that, let's go ahead and do our shout outs. It's almost 9 o'clock. We like to do our other creator shout outs around this time.
Yes, we do. And I actually, you know what? You go ahead first, because I have to find mine.
I was gonna say.
Oh, are you just as bad as me?
I gotta find their exact handle, is what it is.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But in the meantime, as I am finding their handle, one little plug that I would love to do, because I don't know if you guys have been watching it, but the new Fallout TV series.
Yes.
So good. So good. I couldn't give the show any better ratings if I could. I've only so far watched all of episode 1 and about 20 minutes of episode 2. They have done such a fantastic job on that show.
It's been really good. I'm at roughly the same spot.
So good.
I'm at roughly the same spot. And I watched it in front of my toddlers. Don't tell corporate America. Or do. I don't care.
I mean, my kid was sitting there with me watching a little bit going, Daddy, what the hell is that? I'm like, well, that, honey, is that's called a ghoul.
That's called a chainsaw that they're taking
to somebody's face. But yeah, moving on. So I have mine.
Anyway.
So
go ahead.
I would like to give a shout out to Cloaks, Capes, and TTRPG. They are a source creator, and they make items and armaments and things for your TTRPG games. Make sure to check out their Patreon, where they are releasing, I believe, monthly updates. Right now, they have, I believe, up to 500 items that you can use. Over 500 items, yeah.
It's like 567. I saw their post today too.
Yeah.
Robbie is a phenomenal human being.
Fantastic dude.
Robbie is fantastic. I love Robbie.
So if you're into that kind of stuff and you want some handmade stuff or some specialty items that aren't in your standard books or monster manuals or Dungeon Master Guide, go hit them up. Go check them out. For a very small fee, you can get the entire collection, and they are constantly making more. So that's my plug for tonight. What you got, Eric?
So for me, I've actually got another Twitch streamer. I'm setting their link in the chat over here. Please make sure to go follow them. They are their name is Winter's Tales.
Oh, very nice.
They are doing every couple. They have a pretty decent schedule. They stream about 3 or 4 times a week. But they are also ones who put on periodically. They do mega games. At least I call them mega games. I don't know what they call them, but the last one they did was a like a calamity event type of deal. Over a 7-day time frame, they had 50 players. Or like 48 players, and they burned the world and brought it and built it again in 7 days of real world time.
Yeah.
And they are actually this summer putting together a Bridgerton meets Hunger Games crossover.
Ooh.
Bridgerton meets Hunger Games meets Game of Thrones a little bit. It's got that little bit of Game of Thrones flavor.
Red Samurai has been trying to pull me into his campaign for a little while now, but we live on opposite sides of the world.
Yeah. So I am actually one of the creators in this new event.
Oh, you got pulled in?
Yes, there's 150 creators for this new event.
That's insane.
Yes, it's the Winter's Tales are a group of Australians.
Okay.
And they are phenomenal at what they do. AJ is brilliantly coordinating this entire endeavor from her laptop.
That's gotta be one powerful little laptop.
It's one powerful schedule machine is what she's got.
Well, yeah, you would need power.
She's got to be keeping this clockwork, like she's keeping this like it's clockwork. But the Discord has been nuts. For the first couple of days, if you were gone for 20 minutes to go to the bathroom or go make dinner, you missed 200 messages.
That's insane. Well, guys, make sure you go check out both of those creators. One of them being Winter's Tale, and the other one being Cloaks and Capes TTRPG. So give them both a check out, and we're going to jump back into our hellscapes. I think. Yeah.
Yes, I am typing out Cloaks and Capes, but I misspelled cloak. Cloaks and Capes TTRPG. It's all one word with the @ You can. There you go.
There it is.
You should be able to find them with that sign on Instagram and Threads for sure.
Yep.
Beyond that, I'm not exactly sure, but once
I
you get to
their
one,
their Patreon is the exact same as well.
Perfect. So there you go.
Hit them up.
But yes, and definitely hit up both of those creators. They are both good friends, and they are both fantastic humans.
And also, have to do an internal plug. Check out the Chaos Den podcast. New episodes of Shattered Memories, new recordings of Rise of the Ancient King are starting again coming up next week. So we're going to have new episodes of that. And there's a new episode of the Chaos After Dark show coming out on Thursday.
And every Tuesday, the Hebridean Tales has a new episode too. Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
So.
Check them out. We're awesome. Most days. Some days. Periodically.
Except on Tuesdays when you don't have new content.
Yeah, but that's why we have you.
I know. It's what we have me for.
Yeah. That's why you...
Mondays is World Forge. Tuesdays is me. Wednesdays and Thursdays is you.
No, just Thursdays.
Just Thursdays.
Just Thursdays.
So we now need to pick someone up for Wednesdays. We got to do something for Wednesday now.
Oh, I'm sure Friday. I can find somebody.
I know, right? Honestly, I could probably go talk to people and get a calendar of all the things that people are doing.
There are so many people overlap.
Out there. It's nuts.
But we
like there's 150 just
don't
in that
overlap
one
us.
program.
Just make sure you check us out. We're the most important.
But any hoozles, back to hell.
Back
the way we
you.
Go.
Back to hell
with us. Oh Jesus. If you need to ruin your sleep schedule, dude, I am so sorry, Reds. If you really need to ruin your sleep schedule, I have content creators for days. Just reach out to me on Instagram, and I will happily give you a list of a shit ton of creators that you can go binge and catch up on and be done in about 10 years.
Yeah, just never. But
you'll never be.
But like I said, just never be done with us. Stick around. We've always got more stuff for you guys to listen to. So,
correct.
As we so said, back to hell with ya.
Souls resurrect in the camp of their killer. Essentially lawful good. I got I got the if statements in.
Okay, cool.
Essentially a constant war machine.
Now, the one thing that we do need to specify as well is the I think we said that we were going to have 3 factions within Valhalla.
No, I threw 3 out as an example.
As an example, okay.
I threw out Odin, Thor, and Loki as examples.
Okay.
But so the way I think it should be is any god of war that's created on the plane of Unity gets a camp.
Okay, so this would be GM's discretion.
This would be GMs building it out themselves as they're building their world. Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, Odin versus Ares. Let's go.
Okay, so let's type that in. That GMs have free reign to essentially build as many
camps are assigned based on the god of war for the dead, for the soul.
Yeah.
Their default assignment is the god of war on who they started.
Yes. Do we want to have within Valhalla any main settlements, or would it just be open plain camps of just combat?
So these camps would be cities, or it depends on how many souls are in them, right? So I don't see them all as like MASH camps. I see them as in war. Like in war, you have short-term camps, long-term towns, long-term villages, long-term cities. You're competing on the battlefronts mostly, but if a battle waged in far enough, you could take out Odin's main city.
So in that essence, we're not going to actually have any pre-built. It will be once again up to GM's discretion, depending on what their... See, I'd like that, but at the same time, I also feel like there should be some form of structure based already designed for GMs to work off of.
So let's do this then.
Because I feel like there should already be a system set up that they can build up off of.
Yeah, souls enter into a neutral. If I could spell correctly, a neutral, a neutral city,
like a neutral hub.
Yep, a neutral city / hub that armors up. Well, I'm just gonna put gears up, but gears up souls to go to their appropriate camp.
Okay.
Because the Sphinxes don't know about the gods. The Sphinxes don't care about the gods.
No, they don't. They don't care. They're just sending people to the whatever
They're sending you
plane
to
they
your
belong
given
to.
plane.
Yeah.
They are planar related planar level celestials. They are not. They're not related to the gods.
Yeah, they don't care about the gods. That's not their jam.
They care about the planar system.
Yeah, they're
care cosmological.
About exactly. I feel like the Sphinxes were almost semi-created by like the gravimetric dragon.
Yes, because gravimetric would have created time and fate, and then gray wastes.
Yeah,
and then from there, the people on Unity created the rest.
Yes, through their aspirations and mental capabilities of building out.
Correct. So the elemental planes were already there.
Yeah,
Unity was created by the actual dragon itself.
By the Triforce.
And then the dragon itself created the other 2.
Yep.
And there we go.
Boom.
That's what was created in the beginning. In the beginning, there was a dragon. No, the Big Bang's over in the sun.
Yeah.
And it's happening repeatily. I think Reds was here for that episode.
I think he was. I think he was. And that's why we have 6 moons.
A lot of bangs.
Once we get back to Unity, we're gonna have to talk about those moons and how they affect the world.
I don't wanna.
That's gonna be like 2 episodes.
Maybe 3. We're only getting through 2 planes, so the moons.
Woo. All right.
Right.
So that's a pretty good built Valhalla. That's a good system on how Valhalla is gonna function and how it's gonna run. So I do like that. And we know how the water affects Valhalla essentially. Would in Valhalla, now I would like to at some point deep dive in a map building session on making the three areas, like making Valhalla, making the Abyss, and making the Hells, on how they're actually going to be structurally built, because I feel like each one of them will be a singular pocket, other than maybe the Hells. The Hells might have tiers, but the Abyss
Correct.
and Valhalla will be flat creations, like
the Abyss may or may not. We'll figure the Abyss out when we get there, because I do know that in the traditional D&D lore, it's got infinite planes.
True, it does.
It is an because of the way it was created, the Abyss is technically infinite. In typical D&D.
That's in typical
And I can explain
D&D.
to you that when we get there.
But we
Because
are
we may
not
wanna-
typical.
We are not at fucking all. This is a Valhalla that's not even like the Norse mythology.
This
Norse
is our own.
mythology, you're drinking and bar fighting and you're in a fucking tavern, killing each other all day long that way.
That may still happen.
I mean, it might.
Like
But this one, there's actually a war going on outside, so you might not want to fight the bar fight inside.
I mean, you're still gonna have those people that are just even with the war happening. So I picture this like Valhalla being a very massive scape. Like it is a big scape, right?
Yeah.
So with it being such a big scape, there will be certain areas, like mainly the areas that are bleeding into the other two planes. Because I feel like, so you have your center ocean, and then
Yes.
you have, the Abyss and Hell, they would be linking over each other into that, and then you would have Valhalla linking into the lake, into the ocean, but it also bleed over into the Hells and into the Abyss. Like, I feel like they should interconnect with each other to allow passage. So you would almost have like frontiers between Valhalla and Hell and Valhalla and the Abyss. And that's where your main war, like your main blood
choke
wars,
points.
your choke points of where the actual main battles will be happening.
But there would be no direct link between the Nine Hells and the Abyss. That would all be ocean, because that's why they're going through Valhalla.
Okay, so then we're not a true entire Venn diagram,
No,
which
we
I
are.
like.
It's oceanic.
Yes.
That where they cross over is an oceanscape.
Yes, but like we said, at the very top of it, Valhalla will bleed into the other two.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, no, I like that. I'm actually
Yes.
gonna draw that right now because I like that idea, and I don't want to forget it.
Yeah, right. And what do you think over there, Reds? You still with us?
He had to step away.
Oh, okay. He must have PM'd you.
Yes, he will be back.
How dare he?
I know, right? People actually
Anywho.
messaging me of their own accord.
Right? Anyhoozle. The yeah, I do like that though, where Valhalla's at the top. It's essentially got land bridges, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
that connect to the Abyss and to the Nine Hells.
So the way that I'm looking at it, and I actually kind of like this idea. So you would have your top Valhalla, and then you would have your ocean, right? So those two would overlap each other. And then you would have the Abyss on the left, which would overlap the ocean and Valhalla. So it wouldn't actually be below the ocean; it'd be almost beside it. Yeah, so like Valhalla, or the Abyss, the ocean, and then the Hells. And then at the top, Valhalla kind of bleeds into all three of them. So instead of Valhalla being a full circle, it would be more like an oval, like an egg shape, because the bottom of it would be a little bit wider because of the fact that it's hitting the Abyss, the Hells, and the ocean.
So technically there's 4 circles of a Venn diagram.
Yes, So,
but it's not circles.
So
Let's show your dog.
A little bit like that.
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying.
Right? So
yeah,
the abyss and the hells don't touch each other, but they touch Valhalla.
Yeah, so let me real quick, since you drew a doodly doo.
It's doodle time.
It is a little bit.
The difference is you have a giant whiteboard, which is
but I can't
probably
move
full.
my whiteboard.
This is true. Pardon me. But that's where my brain is going with that, because that would make sense. That would give reasons for hell coming up on one side, the abyss coming up on the other, and Valhalla just being in internal fighting with the two of them on two separate fronts.
So the way I had it in my head was like that.
Oh, you made a penis.
Yes, well, the central penis would be the ocean.
Yes.
It could be what I would not make it like that shaped exactly, but you know what I mean, right? Like it'd be almost Triforce. It'd almost be like the Triforce.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just my child brain kicked in.
Yeah, I know. We're allowed to be 12. But they'd have connections here to the Hades and here to the Abyss.
Okay.
So this would be the 9, this would be A, this would be V.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
much.
you see how the 9 and the Abyss don't touch, but they do overlap, so technically each one wants to claim that ocean.
Yeah. It's kind of like we kind of have the same idea.
We have similar ideas.
Similar ideas, just different activations of it.
Correct. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We're not map making today.
No. We're not mapping. We only got about another
I'm going to have to spend
minutes.
like 5 hours working on a map on that one, is what it is.
I'm here for it. Wait, where's my thumb? There it is.
But anyhoozle, I feel like we've got a pretty good grasp on our Valhalla.
Yes.
Our halls of war, our whatever people decide to call this plane based upon their own god.
Yeah.
Because certain god, they would, again, just like most of these planes, the god you worship would not always call it Valhalla. Some may just call it the plane of war.
Yes, they would. Depending on, like you said, depending on who you are and where you're coming from and which deity that you're worshiping in your bloodlust, you would have your own designated name for its location.
Correct.
So that's
Yep. Real quick recap on it. So everyone is fully on track by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
When a soul dies, they go to the Sphinx. They wait in the line. They go to Valhalla or Plane of War or whatever they call their warish hellscape.
If you were a bloodlusty bastard.
If you were a bloodlusty bastard and felt like what you were doing was justified. Crusades.
Yes, that's
the Crusades would be here.
Yeah, because that's the key thing, is that you felt in your soul you were doing a good job, even though you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you didn't feel like you were doing a good job, and you just felt like you were being a shitty human being for the purpose of doing it, then you still went to the Grey Waste. And you may or may not go there.
Yes. Then, after you die and get sent here, you report to a neutral city hub base camp. Whatever. It's like the Great Hall of Hogwarts. And then you get sorted.
You get sorted.
Sorted into your god based upon who you were, who your pantheon was. Not who your god of war who your god of war in your pantheon was. So if you were a nature follower, but you were involved with a righteous war type of deal, you would still go to the god of war within the pantheon of that nature god. Does that track?
Yeah, that tracks.
Okay. And then they gear you up, give you your weapons, armor, all the shit you're gonna need for being dead, so it doesn't matter, so no food, but you know how that goes.
That doesn't matter.
And and then you are immediately teleported to one of the camps of that god.
And
now,
then
the way
you start fighting.
The way the camps work and all of that depends on your DM.
Yes. That is where we decided to give it DM free reign.
Flex.
Yeah, because that, depending on how your DM wants to run it, he could run it in a very gruesome concept where there's just constant infighting and constant battling, or it could be a little bit more of a neutral territory where the battling and the fighting only truly happens at the intersections of the other hellscapes.
At the actual battlefront.
Yeah, on the actual frontiers. So
where
that's
the planes united and now they're fighting the devils and demons.
precisely.
But as right now we're following the soul track. So once you've reported there, you then have your military assignment. A couple of ideas, like he said, you could be fighting other gods of war. But
You could be fighting each other.
The big problem here is devils and demons coming from the 9 hells and the abyss are trying to acquire more souls to build their own army up, to fight on the Grey Wastes to collect more souls, and to send to the Plane of Unity to collect more souls, and just their job is to collect souls.
Because they're trying to take over the celestial heavens.
Because they don't get very many souls, because over in the Grey Wastes, they decide to... Most of the time, those really, really terrible people who did not already agree to go to hell,
They choose to stay
don't
there.
wanna. They know they did it, but they were bad people, so they're just gonna live on the Grey Wastes. It's fine.
Yeah, that's their new home now.
That's their home. They're like, this is better than hell. Hell yes.
Yeah. I'll just stay gray the entire time.
If a soul is killed by another soul within the plane, so if a Valhallian kills a Valhallian, they just report to duty at the base camp, at the camp of the god that the follower had that killed them. So if a Thor follower kills a Loki follower, the Loki follower reports to Thor.
Correct.
And vice versa.
Yep.
If a soul is on Valhalla and is killed by a devil or demon, their soul reports to the plane of their killer.
That hellscape.
That appropriate hellscape. If a Valhallian kills a fiend, so a devil or demon, that entity is dead.
It's eradicated.
It is eradicated. It no longer exists, which is why it is very dangerous for them to send souls here, because these are combat souls.
But that's also why they're going to Valhalla, is because these are combat souls.
They're trained souls.
They want to claim
Yes.
powerful souls to bring into their army to make them more bolstered and stronger.
Correct. But this is also the location, Valhalla is also the location of the Blood Wars type of deal, if you're running a typical D&D type concept. So if you are running and you are having a Blood Wars type campaign, you can still use this cosmology. It would just be, this would be the plane where the Blood Wars are taking place. Your devils and demons are also fighting here, killing each other. But because if they kill each other, they're not perma-dead, because a living soul didn't kill them.
Precisely. So if a devil or a demon kills each other, they just return back to the plane where they originated from.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a what was that movie that came out? There's a movie that came out that was like that, whereas essentially it was you were a criminal and they sent you into essentially a battle like a Halo game, and you had people on the outside playing you, and you would go in and essentially be forced into battle. You would die, get resurrected, and then you'd have to do it again.
I do not recall the movie.
I can't either. I'm gonna look it up.
If anyone knows, let us know.
It was a great movie.
I believe it. Sounds like a fun one. But looks like next week we are headed to either Hell or the Abyss. If you have a vote, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear it. And we'd love to do it.
We would love to hear it. The other thing I am going to do is I will go ahead and put in here a Discord link if you guys want to chat with us about the World Forge. This is the Discord link for the World Forge. For those of you listening to the recording in post, then it will be in the chat replay if you're streaming. If you're over on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, I will make sure it's in the description.
And if you can't find it there or here or anywhere else, you can come check out Eric on Hebridean Tales, and I'm sure it's in your bio over on your Instagram.
There is one there too, but you can also, if they reach out to you, Chris, you have access. You should be able to set them in as well.
I can send them in as well.
So if you reach out to either of us, we can get you into this Discord so that you can ask your questions, because we have an entire section for the World Forge.
And if you do have any, we'll answer it live. So if you do have any questions about the World Forge, or if you have any questions about world building in general, doesn't have to be about what we've discussed, but just anything in general that you have a question about that you would like us to answer, shoot us a question. We would love to answer and go into depth about whatever curiosities that you have.
Correct. But any tips or tricks from you today?
Sleep, drink water.
This is your note to stay hydrated.
This is your note to stay hydrated. Not too much. I will say one thing when it comes to planning a session. Now, this is something that I've actually had a couple people asking me about in regards to podcasting, is how do you plan a session? Even a short-term session or a long-term campaign of a session. What are your key factors? What do you do in the concept of building? And for me personally, the way that I like to build my campaigns and I like to build my stories is, not everybody will agree with this, and I totally understand why, but this is what works for me. I build a start, a middle, and an end. So I like to know how my campaign's going to start. I like to know where my players will eventually be when they hit the middle, like a key pinnacle moment of the campaign, and then an end of the campaign on how I want the campaign to end, or where I would like to see the campaign end. That can be all muddled about with the players. They're gonna screw with it. But having those key factors helps you session plan.
And world build for your episode, or session, or whatever you call it.
That was gonna be my next thing, is have the area that your players are going to be in as fleshed out as you can. And when I say fleshed out, NPCs, locations, items are a big thing. I recently got caught on that on one of my recordings where I gave my player an item and I didn't have it statted out because I didn't think they had the identify spell on them. And they did.
And here's the thing about that, to bounce off of that real quick. If they pull that trick on you, do not feel like you have to answer right away.
Nope.
You can tell them, I will figure that out and get that to you. I just knew you had a magical longsword. Exact specs, either you and I can work with off screen or out of game.
Exactly.
Or I can just bring it to you what I think would be appropriate for this town, for this merchant, of what they might have. Because some merchants, he might have bought it off of a rare items.
You might not even know.
Merchant, and not even realize they were a rare items merchant.
But the best way to avoid having a scenario like this happen to you is have a notebook that you keep on you. And with that notebook, have a couple pages of NPCs. Now, you don't need to flesh out these NPCs. Have a name, have, the race of the character, a couple traits about the character on how they act, and a couple flaws of the character. That's all you need. From there, you can improv the rest of it. But when you improv it, make sure you're making notes about that NPC, so if they ever interact with it, you have more of a breakdown with it. Same thing goes with items.
Including accents if you use them.
Including accents if you use it. If you don't, you don't have to use accents. Not everybody can do it.
No.
It's just a thing that a lot of podcasters like to try and do to make our listeners feel more engaged.
Because it sounds a whole lot better if you throw a little bit of a this on it and you just make them have a little bit more of a personality, because their accent adds another level of personality to their
Personality.
existence. Because now you can tell that this guy's from a little bit of a more urban situation where he does not live out in the boonies. You can tell a lot about a person by how they talk.
Correct. But
So,
don't feel
You
pressured
don't have
to do it.
at all. No.
No.
In fact, many great DMs don't do it at all.
No, not at all. And then when it
So-
comes down to trying to world build for the area, you don't need to have your entire map fleshed out. Have key locations that you know your players will probably interact with. A tavern, a bar, a shop, and maybe
Church.
a church. Yeah, if you have a paladin
If you have
or
a paladin or a cleric, or even a religious follower,
Yeah.
they don't even have to be that. If one of yours says, I'm a follower of the nature god, I'm a druid who's a follower of a nature god, or I'm a monk who follows the sky god,
Yeah.
you can make sure to have, if there is something like that in that town, have that ready.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to say no, there's not.
Yeah, and if you don't have something prepared, just tell your players, "Hey guys, I'm really sorry. I don't have anything ready for you for this. Can we do something else in the meantime so that for next session I can have that ready for you?" Don't be afraid to tell your players, "Hey, I'm not ready for this." Your players will understand. They would rather you take the time to prep something for the next session that they can interact with than fuddle it and kind of stumble over your words and stumble over what you don't have. If you can
And I think-
improv, go to town on it.
I think we are building on what we said last time too, because last time we were talking about ending a session.
Yes.
And we mentioned this at the same point. You can just end the session here and be like, guys, I'm not ready for you guys to go to church.
It's not Sunday yet.
I hadn't planned on anyone going to church. I could have just say there's no church, but this is a town of a decent size. There probably would be some kind of church. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, there's a church. However, I'm not ready for you guys to go in there.
Yeah.
Even if you just say, let's break for an hour.
Yeah, give me some time. And
Give
then
me a minute.
if you need
Let's
to,
figure this out.
look something up online.
Mhm.
There are
Google's
so
your
many.
friend.
Oh, Google is your best friend. There are so
Google
many.
is your best.
There are so many resources online that you can pull stuff from, and one of the greatest resources that I currently use myself is there is a company out there called Dungeon in a Box, and they are phenomenal because they give you one shots. They give you one shots with maps. They give you one shots with stories. You can pull from it and make it your own. There's no such thing as stealing in D&D. It's just community. It's all community. Don't be afraid to borrow a little bit of lore from here, a little bit of lore from there, and throw it into your world just to have it there. And if you're running a module, the only thing I can tell you, read ahead. That's all I got for you. Is read ahead, make some jot notes. You should be okay. But that's
Pretty
all I got
much.
for tonight.
If you want to look at Dungeon in a Box, it's literally just dungeoninabox.com.
Oh yeah, yeah. They got a
So-
monthly subscription as well if you want to.
And we are # not affiliated with them either.
Oh, but I wish I was because their stuff is amazing. They even give you little
Reach out to them.
They're called flat minis. I might actually because I use them in my campaign code a lot.
Some companies also refer to them as Skinny Mini.
Skinny minis, that's right, skinny minis. And
So-
they're really awesome. So yeah, check them out.
But yeah, definitely
Plug
check
number
them
two.
out. Check out Winter's Tales.
Yeah.
And Cloaks and Capes TTRPG.
That's right.
And beyond that, guys, have a wonderful night. We are cooling these fires in the forge, and our brains are toast.
My name is Chris. I am the host of the KSN podcast.
And I'm Eric, the DM for the Hebridean Tales.
And we'll see you next Monday here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we love you.